evening, racing fans. Welcome to Racing Action from Grand River Raceway for this Monday evening. Our first race will go to post in approximately 20 minutes. The track condition listed as fast. The announcer listed as slow. And it is a pretty nice, clear night. Temperatures 21 degrees Celsius. Gorgeous. Let's get a look at the changes on this evening's card. And well, why don't we start in race number 1? No changes, races 1 through 7. In race number 8, number 2, She's a Comedian, has a missing line. No raced here on Friday. Finished 6th, beaten 11 lengths in 158 and 3. In race number 9, 5 in this together, driver to be announced. And race number 10, number 7, Beach Designer, the driver to be announced. Once again, note no changes, races 1 through 7. It is currently 18 minutes to post time, and time for Robert Reed Jr. to join us. We have good news and we have bad news. The good news is Robert Reed Jr.'s video works. The bad news, Robert Reed video works. How are you, Rob?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Always count on Gary Guy to, give me a nice compliment.
Well, but then I had to take it away.
As always. Well, I'm excited for tonight's card here at Grand River Raceway. It's a marvelous Monday night, and we got great action for you this evening. 10 dashes, and it's an interesting card because I think there's some very formful races and other races that I might take a stand against. Some horses that will take significant support on the board. So those multi-leg wagers tonight will be obviously where I'll be putting, most of my investments, especially that early pick 5, which Gary and I will discuss before the opener tonight. And of course, we've also got the early pick 4 and the late pick 4, and some of my favorite wagers here at the River, the super high fives. And in one of those super high 5 races will be my best bet of the night. And the trend for me, I think, for most of the evening is going to be horses that are getting class relief that I think are just getting into easier spots that should be able to, get the job done this time around. But we are at around just over 15 minutes away until the opener here at the River. And Gary and I will come back around maybe 8 or 9 minutes to post, take a closer look at that early pick 5 wager.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 8 outstanding pacers, including $2 million earner and O'Brien Horse of the Year betting line, who is new to Canada in 2022. Look for first crop yearlings from these 3 standout stallions in 2022. O'Brien Award winner and earner of over $1.4 million, Jimmy Freight, Horse of the Year and richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, McWicked, and O'Brien Award winner and Metro Pace champion, Stag Party. Also standing millionaires, Art Spink, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com. That's winbackfarm.com. Winback Farm of Canada is home to 3 exceptional trotters. Archangel, sire 2 2021 Super Final winners, Fashion Frenzy and Twinbee Archie. My MVP, sire 2021 Ohio Sire Stakes Final winner Herculesa. Look for My MVP's first Ontario Crop and 2-year-old stakes action in 2022. Trixton sired many 2021 stakes winners, including Quattro de Julio and Beltassima. His first Ontario Crop will fall in 2022. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
Just about 8 minutes away from the opener here at Grand River Raceway in Elora, Ontario. And that means it's time for Gary and I to take a look at our suggested pick five wagers. The guaranteed pool is $2,500. And I think there's a little bit of value to be had in tonight's sequence, but I'll be starting off really thin in the opener. I'm singling a horse here in the opener. No real surprise who, but let's see what Gary Guy. Oh, we're going to go with my ticket first. We'll go with my ticket first, which is great because we're just talking about my single in the opener, the 3, Brave World. And what I like about my ticket right now when I'm looking at it on screen is I see a lot of 1s and 3s, so I see a lot of inside post positions. I've been picking some outside posts in our first few cards here at Grand River, so I think it's better to get back towards the inside. Anyways, Brave World, my single in the opener. I think it's going to be tough to beat this horse. Making the transition over from Mohawk Park, was a winner at Flamborough 3-back. I think we're going to see this one bust out early and might just keep on going on the engine for the victory or sit a 2-hole trip, something like that. But in race 2, the 1 and 3 for me, I like DM John Wick. Shades of Bay, classy veteran. I think you need to have that one. So just too deep in there for me. Race 3, the 1, 3, and 5. I like Take the Deal in there as my top selection. I love the claim by Kyle Bossens, Colin Kelly, the pole position to work from. I'm going to land on that one as my top selection, going 3 deep in there, though, with the 1, 3, and 5. Race 4, the 1, 3, 5, and 6. I do think Shadow Warrior kind of stands out in there, but from post 5, I want to have some coverage. I think there's an opportunity for a price in there. Prince Adair is intriguing from the pole position to me. And then in race 5, the 1, 2, and 6. And the money leg, we're going to go 3 deep. And I like Nassau Hanover getting down to condition claiming ranks, but off of that scratch sick and hasn't raced since May 26th. I think you have to have coverage there. I actually went with EL Wildsport on top. Rail control, early speed. That one's going to bust out of there early. And Popular Luke, I think, will get a advantageous trip as well from post 2. So 1, 2, 6 for me in there. It's $14.40 for a 20-cent ticket. Let's see what Mr. Gary Guy has in store with us tonight.
Well, we kind of have a lot of similar ideas. And in the first race, I do go alone with 3 Brave World. Comes away from Mohawk. And look, that last race at Flamborough that I called, won there from post position 7. That's about a similar class to here. A lot of back class with Brave World. So alone with Brave World and alone with DM John Wick has looked really good in 2 tries for Don Lindsay. And I think from the inside today, if he leaves the way I think he can, then he will able to be pretty effective in there. And I'm going to take him alone. Leave off Shades of Bay, which Robert has, and just go with DM John Wick. Shades of Bay certainly has a lot of class. In the third race, well, we have the same idea. I have a different horse to be my winner, but it still winds up with the same 3 horses. And in race number 4, we have a little bit of difference. We both think that Shadow Warrior is the best in there. But in mine, I have the 3, 4, and 5. So a little bit difference there. And leaving off the 7 as my 4th, but 3, 4, 5. And then in the 5th race, the 1, 2, 3, and 6 were similar there. I actually add an extra horse, so I have the 1, 2, 3, and 6. But with 2 keys, I'm a little bit cheaper, $7.20, not spending as much, hoping to get it a little lighter, Robert.
Gary Guy with a frugal ticket tonight, just $7.20, spending half of what I'm spending. And listen, I like what he's doing there. We're singling the same horse in the opener, and he's taking a stand in the second race. When you use 2 of them, you always increase your equity when you take a stand in single one. So I like that Gary's doing that in race 2. But we got 3 minutes away, folks, until the horses will be making their way onto the track for the opener. Gary and I will come back after the post break, take a look at the opening dash.
Field 4, race number 1 is on parade, and 1 is Kissin' by the Beaches. Tyler Borth for Mark Goddard and Brandon Guerrera. 2, Life is Better, Garrett Rooney for Ken Matheson and Henry Bankowitz. 3 is Brave World, Scott Culver, Harry Polton and the stable. Number 4 is 3 Trey Gaynor. It is Brett McDonough for Jared Bothwell and a numbered company from Greeley. 5 Maintenance Man, Travis Henry for Cassidy Schneider and Colonel Schneider Jr. and Kimberly Hack. Number 6 is Cranky's Boy, Jason Ryan for Rick Edwards. And number 7, Magical Albert, Colin Kelly for Anthony Beaton and David Lumsden. Number 8 is Art of Fire, Paul McKenzie for Chrysler Nother. And 9 is Better Be Good, J.R. Plot for Blake McIntosh and Leanne Murphy. Field of 9, race 1 starts the early double, first of 10 dashes on this evening. Let's get a look at this field. And Robert, we're all in on Brave World. All of the handicappers are going with Brave World. Gets away from Mohawk to try things here. You don't see good form in the last couple, but the last one on the half was good.
Yeah, it was, and it's hard to go against him in this spot because you mentioned earlier, Gary, that class is comparable to this one, and I'd even say that the quality of the field was significantly tougher overall than who he faces here tonight. That was the victory at Flamborough May 19th, and the last two, like I'll be honest, 2 back, I was a little bit disappointed when I was watching the replays. I thought maybe he was going to finish with pace and look like he, was closing up nicely, and it didn't really see it. And last time, 28-2, obviously a better back half than 56-4. Just think that he looks like the type of horse going to bust out of there off the gate tonight and beat up on this group. So it was use a bunch of them in here or single him, and I'm certainly happy to single Brave World, even at 3-5.
Number 9, Better Be Good is one that's offering 11-1. Of course, with 3-5, the odds are up. Now 12-1. Better Be Good, before that last race at Mohawk, had some good miles on the half-mile track and also does show some closing ability.
Yeah, I think Better Be Good is a versatile type, can, come from out of it and can also win on the front end. Obviously, that's going to be difficult tonight with post 9, but you see that he does get to follow a horse that has speed off the gate. So, Kissing by the Beaches has drawn, poorly really in each of his last 3. Is the type that likes to go to the front, will be pushing out for position. So Better Be Good might get away well off the gate, get a favorable trip, and that could make him dangerous. I thought the efforts prior to his latest were all decent over half-mile services. So he's one that I certainly like on the ticket right now, 10-1, offering lots of value.
Number 5, Maintenance Man, is one that seems to compare very well in terms of speed with this field. In fact, you see a 54-4 mile at London, and last race, a very competitive 55-4. Maintenance Man Travis Henry is sitting at what a price? Well, no, actually 5-1 is now actually the second pick on the board.
Yeah, he's taking a more support actually than I. I mean, I think the price is about where it should be, but I didn't expect him to be the second choice in here. One that I think, is certainly one you've got to be concerned about if you're all in on the favorite, because he has hit the board in 4 of his last 6, and he's kind of a horse that steps up with big efforts on some occasions, and this looks like the kind of spot where we might see that. He starts from post 5. The versatile type again. He does have speed off the gate when he wants to flash it, or he can come from out of it. So I like Maintenance Man on the bottom end of the trifecta. I think he's one you have to have in the exotics, but I still would go with Brave World. Maybe not as a win ticket, but certainly as one that I would take a stand on in the multi-leg wagers.
And I did use Maintenance Man as my second choice. You used Kissin' by the Beaches to round out your top 4 inside post position, and does show some gate speed. 3 starts back, in fact, from post 7 at Flamborough as well.
Yeah, I think that this one's definitely going to be pushing out pretty hard from the rail spot. You can see last time from, the pole position pushed out to the lead and kind of battled throughout the mile before fitting to 9th, and that was in a class kind of similar to this one. Has since added Lasix for 4 starts in a row, and has kind of races that I think, match up decent enough against this group to get a piece of it. Again, I wouldn't get too excited about betting Kisses by the Beaches to win, but on post alone, I think this horse has a big chance to land somewhere in the exotics.
And I used number 4, Three Trick Gainer, for third on my ticket. Now, I know the last race at Mohawk wasn't good, and this one was racing well at Flamborough, but that was in condition claiming company. But I still think Three Trick Gainer might be able to race back to some of that previous form. Is it getting 25 to 1 on the board?
Looks sharp on the track too right now. He's a horse that I've always kind of been fond of and using underneath, over 17 this year, but might be able to land, somewhere in the try or the super. And you're right, he is a big overlay right now at that number.
Well, we'll see how it unfolds. The field for race 1 with their positions. Kissin' by the Beaches, Life is Better in Brave World. In the center, Three Trick Gainer, Maintenance Man. To the outside, Cranky's Boy, Magical Albert, Art of Fire. And the second tier, Better Be Gouda. It's a field of 9, the first of 10 dashes on a sunny Monday night at the river. They're at the start of the rough. Kissing by the Beaches, Brave World, Life is Better, Maintenance Man, and then on the inside, Better Be Gouda, then it is Three Trick Gainer. As the field works into the backstretch, the trailing 3 are Cranky's Boy, Magical Albert, and Art of Fire. Brave World is going to come on and get the lead. Kissing by the Beaches is racing in the pocket now. And then third, Life is Better, who works in front of Maintenance Man, who's fourth. And then it is Better Be Gouda, Three Trick Gainer, then Cranky's Boy and Magical Albert and Art of Fire. Brave World 1 to 5 on the board for Scotty Coulter. Has the lead 27-4. A strong opening quarter. Kissing by the Beaches is racing second. Life is Better is third. Then racing positioned fourth is Maintenance Man in front of Better Be Gouda, who tips to the outside. Racing fifth. Then as they come off the turn, it is Three Trick Gainer. Then it is back to Magical Albert. Cranky's Boy stayed to the inside, and Art of Fire is fired to the outside, but is trailing. Halftime was 56-4. 29 second panel breather for Brave World as they race their way on into the backstretch. Kissin' by the Beaches is still second. Maintenance Man is working first over. Life is Better is on the inside fourth. Better Be Good as fifth, and then it is Three Trick Gainer and Cranky's Boy back to Magical Albert and Art of Fire. Brave World is leading by a couple of lengths, but on the outside now, Maintenance Man has come on to take over second, 3/4, 125-2. Kissin' by the Beaches and now Better Be Gouda on the outside is about to take over third. Kissin' by the Beaches now is run back to fourth, and then Life is Better and Cranky's Boy and Three Trick Gainer, and then it is Art of Fire and Magical Albert, and the field turns for home. And down the stretch rod they come, and it is Brave World who's dug in gamely. Brave World, Maintenance Man, and Better Be Gouda. Brave World wins it. Then second is between on the inside, Better Be Gouda, and on the outside, Maintenance Man. Mile of 155 flat. Brave World was on the board at a very low price of 1 to 5 and lived up to it, Robert.
Yeah, he looked every bit of that price in there. It just went to the front, and I mean, it was really kind of just race over. I mean, he went on his fractions too, 27-4, 56-4, 125-2, and didn't really have to produce even his best in the stretch to get the better of this group. So, 1 to 5 on the board. Again, one that you don't want to really take a crack on as a win ticket at that number, but one you can comfortably single in your pick 5 ticket, which we both did. So we're moving on, Gary.
And we're taking a look there at the finish, and it looks like number 5, Maintenance Man, for second, but we'll see. Maintenance Man was my second choice, but Better Be Gouda from the trailer post is right there in that place photo. And then we get to Life is Better at 7 to 1, rounding out the top 4.
Yes, you're going to nose me out again, Gary, with Maintenance Man?
Well, I think maybe Maintenance Man got there. You had the 9 for second and had the 5 for second, so we're already arguing about this.
It's just the way the meat's gone so far, right? You just get the better of me all the time.
It is no. It's just early. But boy, I'll tell you, Brave World, to kick off the pick 5, I was glad to single that one up and then be free to have some more horses in the later. And you went single as well, so we're going to start off at least with the pick 5, and Brave World has that back class, and that's what we saw.
Yeah, he does. And, that last victory, at Flamborough Downs, like you mentioned earlier, it was from post seven, right? So this is obviously a different, kettle of fish here tonight from post three. And he was able to get there with ease and just really, kind of dominate this group. So that should be good for his confidence. We'll see where he ends up next time. But a horse with all kinds of back class that when he gets to these kind of spots, he's not going to make too many mistakes.
And it is a 3-5-9-2 top four. Rolling back in front of us is number 3, Brave World. Brave World's an 8-year-old Royal Majesty Brown Gelding, owned by the stable, trained by Harry Polton. Scotty Coulter, the Tan Tornado with the winning drive. It's the third win this year. 35th lifetime Brave World, 155 flat. The first raise payouts number 3, Brave World, 260, 240, and 210. 5, Maintenance Man, 640 and $3.20. 9, Better Be Good at 420, $2 exactor, 13.20. Dollar try, 34.55. Dollar super, 108.20. The first race over a finish from the top is a 741-925-683. That's 741-925-683. Fans noted race number 3. We have 2 claims at number 5, Bet on Brett. Race 3, 2 claims entered 5, Bet on Brett. And number 7, No Time at All, has a single claim. Race 3, 7, No Time at All, a single claim. Field for the second on parade. One is DM John Wick Tullamore for Don Lindsay and Andrea Lindsay. Number 2, Whitmere Roland Pop. Samuel Filion for Carol Voyer. And number 3, Shades of Bay. Travis Henry for Joe Pereira and Maple Leaf Racing. Number 4 is Rock and Bow. Paul McKenzie for Catherine Flanagan and Winters Racing. 5 is Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. J.R. Plot drives and trains and owns. Number 6, Yannick Silster, Scott Colder, Ted McDonnell, and Leonard Gamble. Field of 6, race number 2. Let's get a look at this field. We'll start with the favorite, number 1, DM John Wick. 9 to 5 on the board. I think might wind up a little lower than that by post time, but we'll see. But Robert, I really liked what I saw in that last start here. Made a big effort.
Yeah, it was, and I agree with you. I think he does deserve to be the favorite on here. He looks sharp on the track right now, and last time that was from post 4. He got away, towards the back and made a big move, and really gave a nice effort to be the runner-up. And getting the pole position this time around sure only help. He worked from difficult posts in his 2 before that, post 6 at Western Fair and the 8 hole at Harris Phillies. So DM John Wick, I think, is the one to beat. I did use 2 in here in the pick 5 wager, but I will say that he's my top choice, and I wouldn't really have it any other way right now.
Now, number 3, Shades of Bay, has the back class. And the thing with Shades of Bay, though, that last start, it was the first one off of being sick. Didn't really get much out of it at all, and didn't seem to have a lot to offer. Will need to be better here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, though, that the couple things going for Shades of Bay, you mentioned one of them, the back class is a big one, 25 lifetime wins, and a horse that, can kind of turn it around and get hot in a hurry. The post today, obviously much better post 7 last time, post 3 this time around, second start now since the vet scratch sick, and he was facing tougher as well. So, Jules Dragon or Freddie Bear are 2 horses that I would take every day of the week against this group. So I think Shades of Bay has a license to improve. I think he'll be right there at the finish, and as the prices now start to float away from each other, 5-2 doesn't look so bad on Shades of Bay.
Number 2, Whitmere Roland Pop, your third one that I didn't use. Went up to Georgian Downs last start and was bet down to just a little above 2 to 1 and raced really well.
Yeah, he's an interesting one, and you look at his lines, and when Carol Voyer first had this horse, he's driven this horse quite a few times, and then handed the lines over to Samuel Filion. Didn't have so much success in the first 2, but last time certainly did, getting to an easier spot, drawing inside, and really doing what I think Whitmere Roland Pop does best, which is go to the front and try to go as far and as fast as he can. So I'm not sure if those tactics would work tonight against this group, but I think he is one that's going to get forwardly placed and can kind of, get a decent chunk of it. And 12 to 1 right now on the board, he's one that I wouldn't leave off the bottom end of my trifecta, that's for sure.
Number 4, Rock and Bow, is one that I used for second on my ticket, and I thought I would get a price for one reason. This one doesn't have a top 2 finish in the past 2 seasons over a span of 12 starts. But I look at that final quarter last race, 27-1. This one was finishing up really well. And Rock and Bow, I think just maybe might be sitting on a strong effort. And I thought I could get a price 14 to 1. We have even money on DM John Wick, so that helps. Rock and Bow 14 to 1 is my second choice, Rob.
And it's the magic number, right? Third start back off a layoff, and has been facing against pretty nice horses. You look 2 back, who was the winner, Brave World, only 3 1/4 off that one, and 27-1 last quarter in his latest. And one that again might step up his game significantly tonight. Looks like he's feeling good on the track right now. 12 to 1. One that I've gotten the bottom end of the super, but it might even be worth bumping him up right now. I know Ontario Racing, Melissa Keith with Ontario Racing has this one pegged on top. So, Rock and Bow certainly one to think about at a pretty big number.
And number 5, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch While We Have a Moment, is on the screen. J.R. Plant drives and trains and owns this one, and J.R. often puts up good numbers. And Don't Believe Me, Just Watch is one that raced reasonably well here last start.
Yeah, raced decent enough last time, and that was from the rail though. Now moving out to post five, and I think that overall pound for pound, this is probably a tougher group. DM John Wick got the better of him in that one, so I would say one that might be able to get a smaller share at best, but probably is ceiling in here.
Well, it is a field of six for race number two, taking up their positions. And DM John Wick is right now the even money favorite and has inside position with Woodmere Roland Pop. In the center, Shades of Bay and Rock and Bow. To the outside, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. And Yannick Seelster. It's a field of six for the second race. They're approaching the top of the stretch. Here they come. Field 4, race number 2, is into the stretch, nearing the start. There at the start of the rough, DM John Wick would be rolling, popping Shades of Bay. Then Rock and Bow on the inside. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. And Yannick Seelster, DM John Wick and Talibor grab the early lead as they get away in program order. Whitmere Roland Pop is second. Shades of Bay is third. Then Rock and Bow is fourth and is currently about 7.5 lengths off the lead. In front of the trailing pair, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. And Yannick Seelster, DM John Wick 4 to 5 on the board has the lead past the opening quarter. Woodmere Roland Pop fills the pocket. Shades of Bay is racing third and is currently about 3.25 from the front in front of Rock and Bow. Then Don't Believe Me, Just Watch and Yannick Seelster. Off a quarter of 28 seconds, they head off the turn heading towards the half. DM John Wick and Tyler Moore leads in front of Woodmere Roland Pop and Samuel Fillion. Shades of Bay is going to work first over, and Rock and Bow is situated second over fourth. And Don't Believe Me, Just Watch and Yannick Seelster. 57-1 is the halftime. DM John Wick and Tyler Moore on into the backstretch, and now Shades of Bay is coming to call first up and is alongside Woodmere Roland Pop. Rock and Bow is well spotted second over fourth, and then Don't Believe Me, Just Watch scooting up the inside, and Yannick Seelster is trailing the field. DM John Wick, Shades of Bay, Woodmere Roland Pop on the inside, and Rock and Bow now is going to rock off cover and get out 3 wide. Then Don't Believe Me, Just Watch and Yannick Seelster. It is DM John Wick, Shades of Bay, Woodmere Roland Pop, and Rock and Bow to the outside is racing now with a share of third, and now third alone is on the inside, Woodmere Roland Pop, and then Don't Believe Me, Just Watch and Yannick Seelster. And they went by 3/4 and 125 and 3, and they come on down the lane, and it is DM John Wick, Woodmere Roland Pop up the inside. DM John Wick and Woodmere Roland Pop. And then it is a Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. And finishing fourth was Rock and Bow. Mile of 155 a flat. A game effort by DM John Wick.
Yeah, at 4 to 5 on the board and looked every part of it, didn't he, Gary? I mean, that was a dominating victory there, and had to deal with first over, challenge Shades of Bay, and Rock and Bow slides out wide, and I mean, Woodmere Roland probably thought good effort to be second, but this horse is much the best. He's wrapped up by Tyler Moore at the wire, and one that certainly looks like an improving type since coming here from south of the border. And look at that, Gary Guy, single to start the pick 5, eh? Just, you've been doing your homework.
And I got away with it, too, so we'll see how that pans out. Now, look at Woodmere Roland Pop. Was able to use the post position, get away second, was able to stay for second. So your use of a Woodmere Roland Pop, I didn't use this one. You were right.
Yeah, I thought that it looked like a great spot for him to do that, right? He's a speedy horse off the gate. No, he doesn't want to cut it in here because I think that would not work out so well against this group. And Samuel Fillion did it perfect. He left out hard enough to sit the 2-hole to the heavy favorite and finish in that spot at the wire. And I think that when that horse uses early gate speed and can kind of just sit on the pylons, he's a useful type. And second at 7 to 1 will certainly help out the exacta.
And Shades of Bay, at least now, that was a better effort. That was a tough first up effort against a really well-meant winner and did hold on for fourth. But I think Shades of Bay, you can look to a better start now next time out off of that much stronger performance.
Yeah, I think so as well. And he's one that, has really throughout his career, he's been a horse that kind of lives on the outside, So I think that now he'll have, third start back off that vet scratch sick, and maybe he can move on to better things. And definitely a classy veteran that I think we'll see better performances from very soon.
But number one, DM John Wick looked good last week and then lived up to it here with the heavy billing at 4-5, getting the job done. Coming back in front of us, an 8-year-old Better is Delight Bay gelding, lessee of Andrea Lindsay. Don Lindsay, the trainer. Tyler Moore, the winning driver. It's the first win this year. Sixth lifetime, DM John Wick, 155 flat. Second race payouts 1, DM John Wick 380, 260 and 260 to Woodmere Rollin' Pop 540 and 395. Don't believe me, just watch 360. $2 exactor 1660. Dollar try 3620. Dollar super 79.75. And the double of 3 and 1, $6.20. the second race. Order of finish from the top 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 6. That's 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 6.
Two races in the book so far here tonight at Grand River Raceway. Two favorites have converted. Many are still alive in this early pick five. Gary went single, though, so he's got good coverage now. We went key by two, so we're looking okay as well. But hey, it's time for the early pick four wager guaranteed pool at $2,500. Get started right here in race number 3. And this time around, I'm going to go with a single at the end of the sequence. So let's take a look at my ticket up on the board, and we're going to keep it consistent with the same numbers as we have in our pick 5 wager, except this time around we're going to throw a single on the end of the ticket. So here in race 3, we're going to go with the 1, 3, and 5 we're using here. 1, 3, and 5 here in race 3. Let's take the deal, Evasive Card Shark, and bet on Brett. They're the 3 logical ones. I do like Take the Deal as my top choice. I would certainly lean in his direction, especially at a price of 7-2 right now. So Take the Deal is my top selection. We're going to go 1, 3, 5 here in the opener, obviously using the 5. Bet on Brett. He's been racing really well as of late. And then in the second leg, we're going to go with the 1, 3, 5, and 6. My top choice in the race is the 5 Shadow Warrior. That one, dominant winner last time at Western Fair, though that was on May 23rd. And the one I'm intrigued by is the 1 Prince Adair in race 4. So he's one that I'm certainly looking at, thinking has a bit of a chance, transitioning from open claiming ranks to a condition claimer, second start back off a layoff. I think he's one you want to have on your ticket. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, and 6 in the 4th race. And then in race 5, we're going to keep it consistent with our pick 5 ticket using the 1, 2, and 6. I do like the 6 Nassau Hanover. I think that one will take support, but I made the 1 EL Wild Sport my top selection. I think Popular Luke is one you have to use as well. And then in race 6, all my eggs in one basket, and that is the basket of number 3, White Mountain Lee. Big time class relief, good post to work from. I think that there's no one in this field that can compete with her tonight. I think she runs away with it, and she will be my single in the money leg of that early pick 4 wager. And that ticket is just $7.20, going 3 by 4 by 3, and then throwing that single on the end of it. But you got 2 minutes away till the horse will be moving out onto the track for this 3rd race. Start mapping out your winning wagers for that early pick 4 wager. Gary and I will come back after the post break, take a closer look at race number 3.
field for race number 3 on Parade 1. Take the deal, Colin Kelly for Kyle Bossons and Harcourt Lodge. Number 2 is Etam Sports Baby Lauren House for Michelle Bowen and Felix Racing. Number 3 is Evasive Card Shark, Tyler Borth for Bruce Squat and Ron Nobes and Craig Ellis. And 4 is Fernhill Breeze, Anthony Hunt for Cassidy Schneider and Robert and Ron Woodburn. 5 is Bet on Brett Brempidonna for Joe Pereira. 2 claims entered. There is 7 No Time at All, Paul McKenzie for Kim Smith and Seymour Hill. 8 is Mortgage My Village, Jason Ryan for John Kennedy at Up a Creek Racing. And note that number 6 is The Optimist, Travis Henry for Randy Marriage. Let's get a look at this field. We'll bring in Robert. And Robert, your top choice, Take the Deal. Both Ken Middleton and Conley Ecclestone not showing you a lot of love. Your top pick is their 4th one, but I think you're right with Take the Deal. I have this one at least as my 2nd choice. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this horse deserves some respect in here. He's one that certainly, on his best day in his recent efforts, can be competitive with this group. And you know how much we love the combination of Kyle Bossons and Colin Kelly. And right now, scoring down a little bit for Colin. This horse has won 7 to 22 this year, has hit the board 14 times, and pole position to work from, early speed. I don't know how you don't like this horse. Somewhere high up in the rankings in here, and 6 to 1. Like I figured we get a better price than that 2 to 1 in the morning line, just because Bet on Brett was going to take a lot of support, and there's some others in here that I think will take action as well. So 6 to 1 seems like a real big number, but I'll take it and take a swing here with the one. Take the deal.
Well, and I admire that swing because anybody can bet an even money horse. And the reason why I go with Bet on Brett is my bias is always towards horses that I see live as opposed to what I see on TV or on the program. And who was announcing all that fine performance of Bet on Brett recently? Oh, I think that might have been me. Bet on Brett's really looked good to me.
He has, and he's done well for Joe Pereira, and then last time for Richard Moreau. Now claimed right back by Joe Pereira, so you have to like that. And he actually drops him down by a little bit to get into this spot here. And look, he's a speedster. He's always been a speedster. He's been a horse that has trouble finishing his miles at times, and I think he's going to be blasting out tonight. My hope is that Take the Deal's right behind him and maybe can find the passing lane late or get past him. The price on mine's shortening up a little bit now, and Bet on Brett at 6 to 5 is no surprise to me. And if he wins, I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's why he's on my pick 5 ticket. But I thought that he's a horse that is beatable, and when you think an even money shot or 6 to 5 shots beatable, you got to take a shot against him.
Number 3, Evasive Card Shark, is one that's been was good last year, and now for Bruce Goit this year has been really good. Had that one start at Flamborough May the 22nd that didn't work well, but still before that a couple of wins and a strong first-up effort to be second last start. Evasive Card Shark's dangerous.
I think this is a rock-solid field, Gary, and I think Evasive Card Shark's one of the top contenders in the race. Finished second last time. This horse has proven he can rough it. He goes overland a lot, and last time he did that, finished second as the favorite at Western Fair. He's hit the board in 3 of his last 4. He's won 2 of those. A good post work from tonight. I thought that Take the Deal, Evasive Card Shark, and Bet on Brett would all take support, and none of those 3 would be above like 4 to 1. Right now, it's not shaking out that way, and you're getting 6 to 1 in an Evasive Card Shark. So I used all 3 of them, and I wouldn't be surprised to see any one of those 3 get the job done. But there's others in here that you can also make a case for.
Well, we both used all 3. Now, we didn't use number 6, The Optimist. That's our 4th choice, both of us, but you can definitely make an argument for this one.
Yeah, especially when you look actually to his latest May 28th. He only got beat in a neck to Mr. Mock Jimmy. You'd have to like that one's chances in here. I guess for me, it was that vet scratch sick last time, is missed, over a week between starts. And I just looked at it and said, post 6, this horse might need to get this one back under his feet before he's ready for his best. So one that I think can maybe get a piece of it, but not the lion's share for me.
The first time I looked at the program, I thought it said The Optometrist, but then, I took a closer look.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you did your homework on that one.
Well, Otherwise, I need to go see the optometrist. Let's get a look at this field for the third. Take the deal at Etam Sports Baby, an evasive card shark on the inside. In the center, Fernhill Breeze and Bet on Brett. To the outside, the Optimist, No Time at All, and Mortgage My Villa. Field of 8, race number 3. Here they come. Field for the third is at the start of the rough, and Take the Deal. Bet on Brett's going to bolt out. Edam Sports Baby. And then it is Evasive Card Shark and Fernhill Breeze. Then the Optimist, No Time at All. And Mortgage My Villa. Take the Deal is taking the early lead. Bet on Brett is out well from the middle of the track, and now is filling the pocket. And then it is Etam Sports Baby racing third. Evasive Card Shark is fourth, and then Fernhill Breeze and the Optimist. And then No Time at All, and Mortgage My Villa is back trailing the field. Take the Deal at 2-1 has got the front for Colin Kelly. Bet on Brett is right there in the pocket. Etam Sports Baby is racing third. Evasive Card Shark is fourth, and then Fernhill Breeze, the Optimist on the inside, No Time at All on the outside, and Mortgage My Villa is trailing the field. They race their way off the turn. Take the Deal, and Colin Kelly is going to take the field of the half and bet on Brett. And Brett McDonald studying things, staying on the inside. Etam Sports Baby is going to come first up. And Evasive Card Shark is racing fourth on into the backstretch off of 56-4. Strong half, and racing fifth is Fernhill Breeze. Then it is back to No Time at All, Mortgage My Villa, and then the Optimist is all the way back to trailing the field. Take the Deal as they race on to three quarters. Bet on Brett on the inside. Etam Sports Baby is racing third, but now to flatten out now. Evasive Card Shark on the inside is going to claim third, and then it is Etam Sports Baby and Fernhill Breeze. It is Take the Deal. Bet on Brett, though, is staying right there in the pocket and closing it up now. And then third is Evasive Card Shark, Mortgage My Villa, and then Fernhill Breeze, three quarters, 125-2. Take the Deal. Bet on Brett is digging, but Take the Deal is game. They turn for home. Take the Deal on down the stretch drive, and Take the Deal, and Colin Kelly was able to get the better of Bet on Brett. Evasive Card Shark was third, and then Mortgage My Villa finishing fourth, a mile of 154-2. Take the Deal dropped at 2-1, but was able to get the better of the favored Bet on Brett 4-5. Nice call with that one, Robert.
Thank you, Gary. The money came in by helicopter, right? We got excited. We saw 6-1, then 4-1, even 3-1, but it got hammered down late to 2-1. The turning point in the race was right off the gate. Colin Kelly made up his mind. He said, "I'm not giving up the lead to anyone in here." Bet on Brett, who's a speedster who typically races in the front end, was put in the two-hole. The minute that happened, if I could have bet a race of the quarter pole, I would have bet my whole account to win on this horse, because Bet on Brett is not the type that really likes to pass horses, and that told me this horse was, wired for sound tonight, and he was. He was fantastic.
And it was a fair half of 56-4, and just a strong overall mile. 54-2 is a very fine mile for Bet on Brett.
It is, and he looked. Yeah, take the deal, and he looked strong throughout as well. Like, I don't know if you saw him in the turns, but Colin Kelly actually edged out off the inside path a little bit so he could handle the turns, probably because this horse was covering so much ground in a hurry, and he's just a horse that to me figured tonight with the rail and for connections that, hey, how many times did we pick these connections last season, Gary? Colin Kelly and Kyle Boston's dominated at this meet last year, and I think we're going to see that again this season.
The only thing that scared me was just the first start, because sometimes he's maybe wanted to start with a horse but didn't need one to here Take the Deal. The three that we thought were the top three, 1, 5, and 3, came in that order, so the pick 5 ticket is still going very nicely.
Yeah, it's going nicely, and we've got just a couple of legs left with some coverage. Both of us have a little bit of coverage to work with, which is nice. And, this is a race here where the exotics probably won't pay too much, but you could have kept pressing these numbers over and over again, I think.
Mortgage My Villa, 25-1, gets the bottom of the superfecta ticket. 1-5-3-8 is the top 4 in race number 3. Coming back in front of us is the winner of race number 3, One Take the Deal, a 12-year-old Western Ideal Bay gelding owned by Harcourt Lodge of Aurelia. Kyle Bosson's the trainer, Colin Kelly the winning driver. It's the 8th win this year, 29th lifetime for Take the Deal. The third race payout, 1 Take the Deal, $690, $340, $270. 5 Bet on Brett, $270, $210. 3 Evasive Card Shark, $3. $2 Exactor, 2020. Dollar Try, $24.55. $1 Super, $167.35. Third race over a finish from the top is a 173. 52864. That's 173 52864. Claims number 5, Bet on Brat. The new trainer will be Randy Ertl. And number 7, No Time at All. The new trainer, Carol Voyer. Fans noted race number 5. We have a claim header on number 6, Nassau Hanover. Race 5, claim header number 6, Nassau Hanover. And here are some changes in the latter part of the program, the final 2 races. Note in race 9, 1 Shadow and Red's Honey, Travis Henry will drive. Travis Henry drives the 1 in the 9th. Note that 5 in this together in the 9th, driver to be announced. That is race 9, 5 in this together, TBA. In the 10th race, scratched 1 Body Express. Race 10, scratch 1. Number 2, JM Outspoken. It'll be JB Renault. JB Renault to drive the 2 in the 10th. And one more. Number 7, Beach Designer. Scott Ray will drive. Scott Ray drives 7, Beach Designer in the 10th. Field for the fourth on parade. One Prince Adair, Paul McKenzie, drives and trains and owns. Number 2 is Casey's Dragon, Anthony Hunt for Kyle Bossens and Daryl Newbegin. And number 3 is Rising Dragon, Scott Quilter for Sheldon Rose. Number 4 is Galterio Hanover Travis Henry for Jay Conklin and Percy Jones. Number 5, Shadow Warrior, Scott Ray for Keith Cullen and Chris Kane. Number 6, Acrobat Hanover. It is Colin Kelly for Kyle Bossens and Brad Gray. Number 7, Big Journey, Jason Ryan for Josh McKibben and Ralph Spoltor. And number 8 is Joe King. It's Tyler Moore for Marissa Miller and Ezra Miller. Field of 8 for the 4th race. Let's get a look at this field. And Rob, we'll start with Shadow Warrior. We both have this one on top. Comes in off a very fine effort at London.
Yeah, I think this one was dominant last time at Western Fair and had an easy lead throughout in that contest. And the problem is May 23rd to now June 13th, right? That's the only concern I have, but one that certainly races well at this level. 3-1 on the board right now. Surprised he's not taking more support. Early speed, likely going to leave out of there and hopefully get a good speed off the gate.
Well, I like the fact that we're getting 3-1 because I do believe this is the one to beat. We've gone together with Shadow Warrior, although next up is one that I don't have on my Pick 5 ticket and you used for second. I have one that I used for second that you don't have yours, so we have a difference of opinion here. Number 1, Prince Adair at 5-1 on the inside.
Yeah, Prince Adair is intriguing to me, and he took a lot of early money. He was bet down to 2-1 early on in the betting cycle, and raced in a claiming handicap last time, an open claiming handicap at Georgian Downs. First start back after a lengthy layoff, was off for almost a year. And the effort might not look that good on paper, but it really doesn't have to be for me because I think he needed that one. And now he comes in, draws the rail against the condition claiming group. So this is a monumental drop down in class. And I think he's got a reason to improve tonight. And 5-1 on the board, the price has got back to a point where it's probably around the right number. He looks pretty sharp on the track. And I've always thought this horse has ability. So I think he's got a chance in here. And was one that I was willing to use in the Pick 5 to try to get a better number down.
I do think you have to take him a bit on faith, though, of the back class and the class drop, because that last start, not a lot there. Number 3, Rising Dragon. We both have this one used for third and a winner just 2 races ago. The last race at Georgian didn't do a lot there.
No, didn't do much there. That was in a tougher spot, though, no question about it. I would take Viper in this against this group. Probably take Print Media as well. 7-hole on that occasion, was a winner 2 back at Kawartha Downs. He's won 2 of his last 4. Gets an inside starting spot to work from tonight. Was a winner from this position at Western Fair on May 2nd. One that I don't think should be 7-1 right now. I think he should be more so around 4-1, maybe 3-1 even. I think he's got a chance in here. That's why I have him on my Pick 5 ticket.
And then we'll take a look at number 6, Acrobat Hanover. I find it interesting that Colin drives this one. Kyle Bossens with the 2 and 6 in here. Acrobat Hanover, well, hasn't raced this year, but was one that won 6 times last year and here.
Yeah, and he was a force here, if you remember, Gary. He was one that racked up quite a few wins here at Grand River, and I think that, this is intriguing that Colin drives this one, and he's 25-1 versus 9-5 in the other Boston Century. That's why I wanted to have Acrobat Hanover on my Pick 5 ticket. I thought he was one that might be able to blow up the board and really send a lot of tickets to the floor.
And the one that I used for second that's not getting love is 4, Galterio Hanover. I expect a better start here away from Mohawk, and Travis Henry drove this one successfully in the past. Galterio Hanover is 13-1. Taking up positions, Prince Adair, Casey's Dragon, and Rising Dragon on the inside. In the center, Galterio Hanover and Shadow Warrior. On the outside, Acrobat Hanover, Big Journey, and Joe King. It's a field of 8, and it is race number 4. And the field is at the start of the rough, and it is Prince Adair, Rising Dragon, Galterio ahead of her. Then Casey's Dragon scooting through to the inside. Then it is back to Shadow Warrior, Acrobat ahead of her, Big Journey, and Joe King. Prince Adair has got the early lead. Into the backstretch they go. Rising Dragon is racing second. Galterio ahead of her third. Is currently about 4 off the lead. Then a gap of 4 to Casey's Dragon as they race their way past that opening quarter. And then fifth is Shadow Warrior, but with work to do, about 9 lengths off the lead. Then it is back further to Acrobat ahead of our Big Journey and Joe King. 28 seconds the opening quarter. And it is Prince Adair and Paul McKenzie at 3-1 with the lead. Rising Dragon, Scotty Calder fills the pocket. Galterio ahead of her. Travis Henry is on the inside third. And racing fourth is Casey's Dragon. And Galterio ahead of her is going to brush up on the outside quickly now, working first over. Following to the outside, Casey's Dragon. Shadow Warriors fifth, scooting up on the inside, getting closer now. 57-4 is the halftime. Then it is back to Acrobat ahead of her. Big Journey with some problems, and then Joe King on down the backstretch, and it is Prince Adair. Galterio ahead of her on the outside is working a little closer, is only about a neck off the lead. Rising Dragons racing third, then Shadow Warrior and Casey's Dragon. Joe King has gained a couple of spots, and then Acrobat ahead of her and Big Journey. Prince Adair trying to fend off Galterio ahead of her and is looking good right now. And then Rising Dragon is sent out 3 wide. Rising Dragon is coming on gamely. Rising Dragon, Scotty Calder from the backfield. Joe King now is flying. It is Rising Dragon off 3/4, 126-3. And Rising Dragon on down the stretch rod. This one goes to Rising Dragon. Joe King to finish a second. Then it was Galterio ahead of her. And Prince Adair 156-1. Rising Dragon scores it and looks impressive doing so, and was 9-2 on the board, Rob.
It's a nice price on Rising Dragon. I thought that he would take support. I thought maybe 3-1 and significantly higher than that at 9-2. And you're right. He got a nice trip second over, but as soon as Scotty Coulter flipped the switch on this one, he responded in a big way and sprinted away from this field. So, I thought Prince Adair could have raced better tonight. He was put on the engine where I expected him to go, and he went as far as he could on the lead and ended up, I think, finishing fourth. And maybe he can kind of progress into one that can be competitive against this group. But Rising Dragon, real nice effort tonight.
One that neither of us touched and yet comes in second, Joe King from post 8. Did race well at Sarnia in the last couple, but in tougher. But at 35-1, Joe King wasn't joking.
Yeah, Joe King is actually one that I've looked at on paper and here and said, okay, well, I love what a horse, makes a transition to a condition claimer. But post 8, I said, okay, we'll just watch this week, and maybe if this horse shows that he can close into it, we'll use him next time. Well, I think the secret might be out on Joe King. That was a big effort to be second, and I think if he comes back in this class and draws inside, he'll take a lot of support.
I think a horse you can also put on your watch list, used for second and finished third, Galterio Hanover, raced very tough and stuck around.
Yeah, he was. He came first over, a long way, and I was getting a little bit worried for my pick 5 tickets. I didn't use this one, Gary. I know you were fond of him, but I wasn't. And he went a tough trip to get a piece of it.
It's on the board a 3-8-4-1. Thinking about our 5 that went down, but we do have. We're still alive in the pick 5 with 3 Rising Dragon. Rising Dragon coming back in front of us. An 8-year-old Dragon again, Bay Gelding. Owned and trained by Sheldon Rose. Scotty Coulter, the Tan Tornado victorious. It's the 5th win for Rising Dragon and the 7th win lifetime, a mile of 1:56-1. Also note it is the driving double on the evening for the Tan Tornado. 2 for Tan. Scotty Coulter scores twice so far this evening. The fourth race payouts 3 Rising Dragon, 1140, 520, and 520. 8 Joe King, 4880 and 1790. 4 Galterio Hanover, 1020. $2 exactor, 544.10. Dollar try, 1324.20. And a 20-cent super, 1113.38. Ka-ching. The fourth race order of finish from the top 451-36782. That's 451-36782. Field for race number 5 is on parade. One is EL Wild Sports. Scott Ray for Jack Rand, James Lewis. Number 2 is Poplar Luke J. Harris for Brad Vanstone. Number 3 is Dark Move, Scott Quiller, Jonathan Penos, and Martin Kepfer. Number 4, Brightside Melvin, Travis Henry for Brian Eckenstein, and Dr. Terry Fried. 5 is Delightful Magic, Brett McDonough for Chrysalin Nother. Number 6, Nassau Hanover, Talbot for John Pentland, claim entered. Number 8 is Rymar Champ, Colin Kelly from Mitchell Turney, and Robert and Ron Woodburn. There is 9, Quinn's Frisky Whiskey, Anthony Hunt for Bud Sinclair and Lindsay Sinclair. And 7 is Living on a Dream, Jason Ryan for Katie, Gene Miller, and Travis Forbes. Field of 9, race number 5, the final leg of the Pick 5. And, well, Bud, I'm cheering for you to win the Pick 5 here. Let's take a look at one EL Wild Sport.
Yeah, EL Wild Sport, pole position to work from, lots of speed. And I think this one's just going to get sent tonight and really can get the better of this group if you can go, reasonable, fractions on the engine or set the 2-hole maybe to one like Poplar Luke. I do think that we're going to see some early action from the 6 Nassau Hanover, though, as well. So could get interesting here. But, EL Wild Sport, not one that I get too excited about at 8-5 right now on the board, but one that I think you do have to respect in here.
And, of course, why I said I'm cheering for you in the Pick 5. We both have the same ones alive. Let's get a look at number 6, Nassau Hanover. The claim is in. Missed the last start due to vet sickness, but he is one that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I think so. And right now, you're Pick 5, $52 for 20 cents. I think that's a pretty nice return on Nassau Hanover. I love the way he scored down. I mean, he was scored down nicely for Tyler Borth. Claim is in, and vet scratched sick last time. That's obviously a concern, but the effort and the prospects probably good enough to, be right there with this group. And before that was taking on much tougher in an open numbers, a 30,000 life blast at Western Fair. So if this one can blast off the wings of the gate, get situated early, he's got a big chance. And right now he certainly presents value on the board at 5-1.
Number 2, Poplar Luke, is probably one that can be a trip horse. It has gate speed and the post position, has form as well.
Yeah, shock. This one's not taking more support right now. 8-1 on Poplar Luke, and I do think that when you look back at his victories at his victory, and it was at Western Fair 3 back. I mean, that's a numbers at 10,000 life for a 15,000 claimer. This is obviously a tougher spot, numbers at 30,000 life, but he went on to win handily at Clinton. 2 back, and then race well again in numbers at 2,000 last 3 there. So that's a pretty decent class compared to this one. So I think you should handle this transition well. Good post to work from and lots of early speed. So price shortens to 5-1 now. I think you should be even shorter than that.
Number 3, Dark Moves, is one that I took a little flyer on, trying to beat the favorite. Took this one as my top choice, but still covered with the same 4 in the Pick 5. Dark Moves, well, scratch vent sick, made a break to start before that. But also you see some really good recent lines.
Yeah, and especially when he first joined the barn of Jonathan Panos, and if we can get back to that form, he's certainly going to be competitive against these in here. 13-1, I think definitely an overlay on the board right now, paying a decent payout, $55.20 to the Pick 5, Gary.
And you get Scotty Coulter, who's looking for a 3rd win on the evening. Taking up their positions, EL Wild Sport, Poplar Luke, and Dark Moves on the inside of the center. Right side Melvin, Delightful Magic. On the outside, Nassau ahead of her Living on a Dream and Rymar Champ. And the second tier Quinn's Frisky Whiskey. Field of 9 for the fifth race. EL Wild Sport made a little bobble but has recovered. And the field for race number 5 into the stretch drive. They're at the start of the rough, and EL Wild Sport, Dark Moves, right side Melvin. Nassau ahead of her, Bolt's quickest of all. Nassau ahead of her is going to come right out and get the early lead. EL Wild Sport, then Poplar Luke, and now Quinn's Frisky Whiskey is racing fourth, and then it is Dark Moves and right side Melvin. Then we've got Living on a Dream, Delightful Magic, and Rymar Champ is trailing the field. Nassau ahead of her has got the lead for Tyler Borth. Advantage right now is a couple of lengths over EL Wild Sport, and then Poplar Luke is racing third. Quinn's Frisky Whiskey fourth, and then it is Dark Moves who is in mid-pack fifth in front of Brightside Melvin, then Living on a Dream, and then it is Delightful Magic. And Rymar Champ is trailing the field. Nassau ahead of her at 8-1. Leads as they race off the turn. EL Wild Sport is in the pocket. And now braving it first over. Here comes Quinn's Frisky Whiskey. And then Poplar Luke is racing on the inside fourth. And Dark Moves now is moving second over fifth. And then it is Brightside Melvin. Rymar Champ half 58 and 1/32 second panel breather. Trailing pair Living on a Dream and Delightful Magic. Nassau ahead of her was very quick off the gate and leads them quickly on down the backstretch. EL Wild Sports right there in a good spot. Quinn's Frisky Whiskey working first over. Poplar Luke on the inside backing away. Dark Moves scooting up the inside is Rymar Champ. From the backfield, Brightside Melvin. Then Delightful Magic and Living on a Dream. It is Nassau ahead of her, who leads as they hustle their way on by 3/4 in 1:27 and 2. And Nassau ahead of her is cruising. EL Wild Sport is second. Brightside Melvin. And then it is Quinn's Frisky Whiskey and Poplar Luke scooting through to the inside. On down the stretch route they come. And it is Nassau ahead of her. EL Wild Sport up the inside, but Nassau ahead of her makes every call the winning one. EL Wild Sport and Poplar Luke are in a place photo, and Brightside Melvin to finish fourth, but Nassau ahead of her. What an impressive effort, 57 and 1. Boy, did he sprint off the gate and then keep on trucking, Rob.
Yeah, he was fantastic tonight. And Gary, I can't believe the price on this horse, Gary. I'm I'm looking at the board thinking 8-1 is just wild. I mean, Tyler Borth tipped his hand. He scored this horse down, very intently, and he left off the gate like an absolute rocket. And, I just wish that we were getting the same kind of value in that pick 5. I mean, it's paying well, don't get me wrong, at $52 for 20 cents. But, with the one EL Wild Sport being even money paying $20, there's a lot of value in this sequence on win tickets. But again, we'll certainly take it at $260 for a dollar wager.
Well, the number 6 Nassau ahead of her was your second choice in behind EL Wild Sport, who took all the money at even money, so you did tap the right one to be the threat. So much of a threat that, actually, no one was threatening him coming to the finish.
Yeah, and it's a huge drop down in class when a horse moves into the condition claiming ranks for the first time. It really is, and obviously you and I were probably hesitant to put this one on top because of that vet scratch stick, a little bit of time between starts. But sometimes it can work to one's advantage if they get the horse right, get the horse feeling better, and now get to a spot that's much easier for him, and that's what Nassau Hanover did tonight.
Well, if you're going to trust a trainer to get him healthy, John Pentland is one to trust. He's often done very well in the past.
Yeah, definitely an 8-1 on the board. I'm still just shocked at this win ticket, Gary.
It is a 6-1-2-4. 8-1 on top with Nassau Hanover coming back in front of us. A 3-year-old sports rider, Bay Colt, owned by John Pentland and Peter Charlton and Archie Leach. John Pentland's the trainer, Tyler Borth the winning driver. It's the third win this year in Lifetime. Nassau Hanover 150, 7-1. The fifth race payouts number 6, Nassau Hanover, 1940, 520 and $6 and 1. EL Wild Sport 270, 250 and 2. Poplar Luke 410. 6 1 exactor 65.90. Dollar try 73.10. Dollar super 449.90. And the dollar pick 5 of 5 261.75. The fifth race. Order of finish from the top is at 238 471 956. That's 238 471 956. And the claim of number 6, Nassau Hanover. The new trainer will be Jason Sherman. Field 4, race 6 on parade 1. Just crazy enough, Dave Duncan for Brent Duncan. Number 2, Get It Done Donna, Colin Caliber, Kyle Boston, and Steve Colvin. Number 3 is White Mountain Lee, Bo Brown for Tisha Symes. 4 is Little Mary, Paul McKenzie for Mike Salas and Link Stable. 5 is Shadow of Dawn Zaz, Tyler Borth for John Yank Jr. and Jordan McGrail and Deborah McGrail. And number 6, Watches Party, Jason Ryan for Jared Bothwell. Number 7, Black Creek Rosebud, Ryan DeRoche for Mark McCormick. 8 is Lady Oxford, Tyler for Ashley Lenvoy and Eden Bosniak. It's a field of 8 for race number 6, the Super High 5, and a good mixed up bunch here for this bottom class Super High 5. But you got the pick 5, Rob, and now you're singled up alone in the final leg here with number 3, White Mountain Lee, in this one for your pick 4.
Yeah, I am, Gary, and I thought this one was my most probable winner of the night. And we're off to a good start so far. I mean, I thought the payouts last race were fantastic all around, and this one here, White Mountain Lee, I just thought that this looks like a real good spot for her to notch her 3rd victory of the season. I mean, she's raced against Open Claiming Company last time. Before that, it says condition claimer, but it was just an add-on condition. It wasn't like a non-winners of claimers. So I think, again, this looks just like a real easy spot for her. I think if she can get to the lead or get forwardly placed off the switch, she should be able to find the wire first. And she faces quite a few in here that have been camera shy.
And also, those starts back in April at Flamborough, she was consistently good in the month of April, and this is a class that you don't get a lot of consistency, so definitely White Mountain Lee, I agree with you. We both have this one on top. You went to 5, Shadow of Dawn Zaz as your second choice, and I tell you, it's you don't see a lot of recent form, but is dropping in class.
Yeah, I think the drop in class should help her chances here, and she's one that I follow closely at Western Fair, and that time that she was actually a winner, 1 for 19 this year. She was my best bet on that occasion, so I know this horse pretty well. I think this looks like a decent spot for her to get a piece of it. I don't really think she can beat the 3 at all in here, White Mountain Lee, but I think she could set a trip and maybe get in for the place spot. I thought she'd probably be around 4th or 5th choice on the board, so try to create some value underneath in the exacta. So I went with her in the second spot.
Number 7, Black Creek Rosebud, if she was racing back to the way she did last year, well, she'd be the favorite in here, but she's not racing like that.
No, she's over 14 on the season, right? So that certainly is a far cry from the 7 for 28 she was last year. And this race here, I mean, maybe she kind of looks like she's getting a little bit better and maybe going to round back into form, but she's got to work from post 7. Now, she's one that does have early foot off the gate, but when she's shown that recently, it's been from post 5 or better. I'm just not sure how she works her way into the race. And if she does, leave out of there early on, I think she might get used up that she won't be able to have much left in the last bit of the race. So I like her for 3rd. If she drew inside, I'd certainly have her probably in for 2nd.
Number 8, Lady Oxford, is one that's coming in tough form right now, not racing well. And then a little further back, you see a couple of wins, but they were both front-end efforts from inside posts. The problem is the post position. Ashley Lenvoy's put up some numbers, but post 8's tough here.
Yeah, she's definitely put up some numbers, 10 for 50, batting 308. And Lady Oxford's one that, you could look at, make a case for, especially if she drew a better post, because she raced an open claimer last time. Before that, she was in winners over events. I mean, she does have 2 victories in her last 6. Problem for me is post 8. I mean, post 8 does not win here very often at all, and I don't think it's going to happen in here. But do I think she's good enough to circle around something to get a piece of it at some point? I certainly do. And 7 to 1 on the board, now down to 5 to 1. I wouldn't leave her off the bottom end of the trifecta or super.
And what do you use to round out your high 5?
Rounding it out with, oh God, you're going to catch me off guard here now. I believe the 2. Yeah, Kyle Boston's. There we go. Boston's and Kelly. Not going to be off my super high 5 ticket.
There you go. It's a field of 8 for race number 6. Just crazy enough and Get It Done Donna, White Mountain Lee on the inside of the center, Little Mary and Shadow of Dawn Zaz to the outside, Watches Party, Black Creek Rosebud, and Lady Oxford. It is a field of 8, the 6th dash. Here they come. Field is set the starter off. White Mountain Lee is going to get out well. Black Creek Rosebud from the outside with Lady Oxford. Just crazy enough and get it done, Donna. White Mountain Lee dueling with Black Creek Rosebud for the early lead. Black Creek Rosebud, though, is coming on now, leading by half a length. And White Mountain Lee is now going to find the pocket. And Lady Oxford from post 8 got away third. White Mountain Lee is going to reclaim the lead. Racing position fourth to the opening quarter is just crazy enough as they race their way on past the opening quarter. Fifth is Get It Done Donna. Then it is Little Mary. Then Shadow of Dawn Zaz. And then it is Watches Party, who watches the field from a trailing spot. 28 and 4 the opening quarter. White Mountain Lee and Bo Brown's got the lead. Racing second, Black Creek Rosebud. Lady Oxford is third. Just crazy enough on the inside. And now moving on the outside is Little Mary. Then Get It Done Donna. Watches Party now is past one. And then Shadow of Dawn Zaz is trailing. White Mountain Lee has the lead as they head their way on past the half in 1 minute and 2/5. A very nice 31 and 3 second pedal breather for White Mountain Lee. Little Mary is rolling on the outside and is up to within just ahead of the front. And then Black Creek Rosebud is racing third. On down the backstretch they go. Little Mary, White Mountain Lee on the inside trying to fight back against Little Mary, but Little Mary is taking the lead about a length and a quarter right now. White Mountain Lee is racing second. And on the outside, Black Creek Rosebud. Then a gap of 3. Lady Oxford and Just Crazy Enough and Watches Party and Get It Done Donna. It is Little Mary who's got the front. Black Creek Rosebud is a digging second. White Mountain Lee has relented and is dropped back to third, and Lady Oxford is fourth, and then it is Get It Done Donna and Just Crazy Enough. On down the stretch drive they come, and Little Mary with a big effort. Little Mary is going to take it. Then finishing a second, that was Black Creek Rosebud getting up for third. Get It Done Donna and White Mountain Lee drop back to fourth. 159 and 4. Little Mary was a large Mary. What a game effort.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive there from Little Mary, and not one that I expected. I mean, in my high five, I don't have Little Mary anywhere. And you know what? Looking back at it now, hindsight is 2020, Gary. But fourth start back, off a little break, and Paul McKenzie this time around. So, I guess you could, find a way to have Little Mary on the ticket, but I certainly did see her blowing this field away from the first over position.
Well, especially not when you look at the recent form, 7th and 8th in the last couple, and that was in the bottom class at Flamborough and hadn't raced since the 15th of May. That's also not exactly a positive, but I'll tell you what is a positive. That was a hugely positive effort.
Oh, it was, and Little Mary, blowing up the tote board at 20-1, certainly will make this super high five interesting. White Mountain Lee, I mean, really not much of an excuse. I mean, she got a huge second quarter breather, and I saw the plus come out, and I said, "Oh no, we're in big trouble here." When she was kind of struggling to really deal with Little Mary in the first over spot.
And Black Creek Rosebud raced really well. We thought the post position should scare us away, but it was a really game Black Creek Rosebud. Maybe one to keep an eye out now. That 7-time winner last year that doesn't have a win this year finishes second.
Yeah, I think so as well. And the thing that really helped both Black Creek Rosebud and Lady Oxford was there was no speed from the 4, 5, and 6, right? So when you look to your left, I'm sure as a driver, you say, oh, they're not leaving out. So that makes up your mind, especially when you're on one with speed. So Ryan Daraj got Black Creek Rosebud to the lead and then released the favorite and raced really well to be second.
Well, we get a super high five with the favorite pushed all the way down to fourth in White Mountain Lee at 3-5. So a 4-7-2-3-8. Back in front of us is number 4, Little Mary. 5-year-old Better is Delight Bay Mare. Owned by Mike Salas and Link Stable. Mike Salas, the trainer. Paul McKenzie, the winning driver. It's the first win this year, 5th lifetime. Little Mary, 159 and 4. the sixth race payouts. And number 4, Little Mary, 42.10, $15 and 9.20. Number 7, Black Creek Rosebud, 8.20 and 3.70 and 2. Get It Done Donna, 3.20. $2 Exactor, 554.30. The Dollar Try, $451. We had a 20-cent high five of 1172.57. Ching. And a dollar win for 404, 1472.30. The sixth race for a finish from the top, 634-17825. That's 634-17825 on the bottom.
Little Mary getting the job done at 20-1 in race 6. Congratulations if you had her. I certainly did not. But we turn the page. We move on to race 7, and it's the start of the late pick 4. So start mapping out your winning wagers for that one. Here's my suggested ticket for you, and I'm going to start off with a single right here in the opening leg. And a horse that's getting all the support right now, getting hammered down to 2-5. The one Warrawee Expat, one that I think rail control should be able to go out there and really have her way with this group as long as the fractions are sensible and she can get away with the lead. She is it against some older horses, which isn't an angle I usually like, but I think she should be just fine against this group. 3 seconds to start off the season so far, including one in the OSS Grassroots last time. And again, with that pole position, she should be firing out early and can get the better of this group. So singling her here in the first leg. Then we're going to go with the 1, 5, and 7 in race 8. That's Charmbo Stormy, Lions Princess, and Novella Sealster. 3 deep again in race 9 with the 1 Shadow and Red's Honey. The 2 Lions Believer is my top choice. But also using the 7 Jitters Better, who I thought raced fantastic last time at Flambeau Downs and non-winners at 2. And then in race 10, just 2 deep in that one. I think it looks kind of formful in this late pick 4 sequence. The 2 JM Outspoken, post relief this time, and should also like the class relief coming here to the river for non-winners of 5,000 life. And the 9 All Electric, Mohawk Park last time, first start off a layoff. Should be much better second start off the bench. Does have to work from that trailing post, though. But all in all, singling here in the opener, going 3 by 3 by 2. And that ticket right there will cost you just $3.60 for a 20-cent wager. We're 2 minutes away until the horses will be making their way onto the track for race number 7. You're going to want to get your late pick 4 tickets in. Gary and I will come back after the post break, take a closer look at this upcoming dash.
Field for race number 7. On parade, 1 is Warwick Expat, Brent McDonough, Gabriel Sasso, and Jeffrey Corchens. Number 2 is Bride Out Better Be, Garrett Rooney for Kendall Ron and Bryden Farms. 3 is Katie's Delight, Jay Harris for Sean Stacy and Steve Kolowski. 4 is Greystone Treasure, Scott Ray for Jack Ray and Rem Papadopoulos. 5 is Sophia Lolita, Jason Ryan for Mike Wade, Ken Glass and Anna Marie Colville. Number 6, I'm Diabolical, Ryan DeRoche for Brenda Duncan and David Duncan. And number 7 is Carnival Heart, JP Renault for Julie Walker and Darlene Carr. 9 is Pacing Down a Dream, Colin Kelly for John Yake Jr. and Doug Millard. 8 is Century Harlot, Lauren House for Peter Brickman and Aaron Swainson Brickman. Well, it's a field of 9 for race number 7. Starts the late pick 4, and right away, Rob, we are going to go to your top pick, the one that you're using alone in the win for. And I've got a different way than you in this one, but you are with the fans with the 6-5 betting favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to single Warwick Expat. And, usually I kind of get a little bit hesitant with a 3-year-old against older horses, but I think she kind of just figures against this group. I mean, we know that she doesn't mind this surface at all. She had 3 wins at 7 starts last year, produced good efforts in the Battle of the Bells. And so far this season, 3 second-place finishes from 3 starts and against some pretty decent horses. So I think with the pole position in here, she's going to rocket to the front or at worst at a 2-hole and find the wire first. Right now at 1-2. I thought she might be a better price than that, but looks like she's going to take all the support.
Well, and a horse that's looking for the first win of the year, but certainly has looked good in each of the 3 starts, all of them runner-up finishes. Number 5, Sophia Lolita, is one that has really come on this year. Didn't win in 26 last year, but has 3 wins this year. Really good in the last 3 starts at Flamborough.
Yeah, she's come into her own recently, and I've always been fond of this horse, Sophia Lolita, and she's like you said, 3 for 10 in the season, 6 out of 10 in the money. Didn't win last year, but was in the mix a lot. 10 on the board finishes, and I mean 7-1 is a giant size price on Sophia Lolita right now. She hasn't raced in a month, so that's the one knock on her, but she is one that certainly has a chance in here. She's one that with the right kind of trip scenario, I could see her getting the job done or at least finishing second. So I think we might see that price tighten up a little bit come post time.
That was a good bunch she was in with last time, and Manhattan Knight, the one that beat her, is a really nice one. Others to look at, number 4, Greystone Treasure is my top pick. Get the hot barn of Jack Ray, who's rolling this year, and Greystone Treasure has 8 wins.
Yeah, talk about horses coming into their own. Greystone Treasure has been incredible this season. Like you said, 8 for 19, and she's hit the board in 15 of those efforts. And I mean, even her last season was strong as well. I mean, she's got 14 wins and still just 62,000 made lifetime. She's spent a lot of time in condition claiming ranks, but then proven recently that she can be better than that, and she can win against open non-winners companies. So I don't think she's one you can overlook in here. And another one that, because of the price on Warwick Expat right now, is going off at an inflated number, 6-1. I thought she'd be more in the neighborhood of 3-1 at most. So for me, I've got it 154. Greystone Treasure is certainly capable of outperforming that projection.
And quickly, number 3, Katie's Delight, has been racing consistently well. Tough effort last time. Second beaten ahead, really battled hard.
And she's got a lot of tough trips. She's been stuck first over quite a few times, and a hard luck horse trip wise, and one that if it all works out for her, she's one that can make some noise in here as well. 9-1 on the board, another one that you're getting a big number on simply because the one is getting hammered.
Well, hammered down to 3-5, and I have 4 Greystone Treasure at 7-1. Warwick Expat on the inside with Brad Owen Better B and Katie's Delight. In the center, Greystone Treasure, Sophia Lolita. To the outside, I'm Diabolical, Carnival Heart, and Century Harlot. And the second tier, Pacing Down a Dream. It is a field of 9 for the 7th dash. They're into the stretch drive. Here they come. Field for the seventh race is at the start of the rough, and Brightdown Better Be, Greystone Treasure from the outside, Waraway Expat on the inside, and Katie's Delight is racing fourth as they charge into the turn. Then it's Sophia Lolita and pacing down a dream of the trailing three. I'm Diabolical, Carnival Heart and Century Harlot. Warwick Expat has got the lead. Brightdown Better Be, currently be second. Greystone Treasure third, but right now is just racing about 5 or 6 off the lead in third. Then Katie's Delight and Sophia Lolita, and pacing down a dream. I'm Diabolical, Carnival Heart and Century Harlot trailing. Warwick Expat 1-2 on the board. 28-second opening quarter, and has a lead of 2 1/4. Brightdown Better Be is second. Greystone Treasure third, about 4.5 lengths from the lead. Then Katie's Delight, Sophia Lolita, and pacing down a dream. I'm Diabolical, back to Carnival Heart and Century Harlot as they work their way on past us off a 28 opening quarter. Halftime was recorded in 57-3, and it is Warwick Expat in front of Brightdown Better Be. Greystone Treasure is racing third as they race their way on into the backstretch, and then fourth is Katie's Delight. Greystone Treasure now is going to pop out and come first over, and it is Greystone Treasure moving up rapidly now to take over second, trying to bear down on the heavily favored Warwick Expat, but might have flattened out just a little bit there as Warwick Expat has driven on. Brightdown Better Be reclaims second. Greystone Treasure getting submerging, but has flattened out and backs away a bit on the inside. Katie's Delight to the outside, Sophia Lolita, and then pacing down a dream, trailing three up. Diabolical, Carnival Heart and Century Harlot, 3/4, 126-2, and Warwick Expat. Down the stretch drive they come. Warwick Expat 1-2 on the board and raced like it. Sophia Lolita comes on to pick up second. Then it was Brightdown Better Be and Katie's Delight, but Warwick Expat was clearly the best. 1-2, popped right out and made every call a winning one.
Yeah, she was fantastic, and she really did what I thought she would do tonight. I mean, she's facing older horses, but she's got the rail to work from. She blasts out to the lead, and she's been the runner-up in 3 so far this season. But you can't call it seconditis when you're racing against the quality of horses she's been racing against. And of course, last season here at the River Gary, she won an elimination of the Battle of the Bells, then finished third in the final. To Love That Smile, and just looked fantastic tonight. She gets around this track nicely, and a well-deserved victory, and did so in fine fashion.
Well, the angle that didn't scare you off is the one that did scare me off. I went to a 4-year-old mare, Greystone Treasure, and came first up, but backed away fairly quickly. Didn't have as much as I thought.
Yeah, maybe not her trip. I mean, she's done that way before, but not against the likes of Warwick Expats. So I think she'll be okay, and she'll come back with a good effort next time. Maybe different trip scenario. She tried to leave out, but you could see Warwick Expat was going to put everyone behind her on the turn there. So Sophia Lolita, though, that was a nice effort, nice closing effort to get for second, and that exacta was paying really well going behind the gate. I was getting excited. It was around $12. Got hammered down to $7. So not as much value as we had hoped in that exacta.
Well, at least you did have the exactor, one Warwick Expat, and your second one, number 5, Sophia Lolita, and then 2 and 3. But 1, 5, 2, 3, the 7th race, top 4. 1-2 on the board with the favorite Warwick Expat coming back in front of us is a 3-year-old Sports Writer Bay filly, owned by Jeffrey Corchens and Mart West Racing. Gabriela Sasso is the trainer. Brad McDonald, the winning drive. It is the first win this year in the 4th lifetime. Warwick Expat, 155 flat. The seventh race, it's 1 Warwick Expat, 310, 230, and 230. 5 Sophia Lolita, $3, $3, and 2 Bride Down Better Be, $6.90. Dollar pick 3, 403.80 on 3 of 3. $2 exactor is $7.20, dollar try, $24.70, dollar super 87.25. The seventh race order finish from top 1, 3, 4, 5, 2, 7, 9, 8, 6. That's 1, 3, 4, 5, 2, 7, 9, 8, 6. Field for the 8th on parade. One is Charmbro Stormy, Paul McKenzie for John Ryer. Number 2, She's a Comedian, J.R. Plant for Michelle Letarte and Jean Allaire. Number 3, Seal the Dark, Travis Henry for Cassidy Schneider. And 4 is Wasaga, Jay Harris for Les Posen. 5, Lions Princess, Anthony Hunt for Anthony Beaton and 3 Lions Racing. Number 6, Bet You Love Me, Scott Quiller for Lori LePage and Rebecca Williamson and Connie McTaggart. And 7 is Novella Sealter, Colin Keller for Ben Wallace and Daniel Plouffe and Dean Lockhart. Field of 7, race number 8, Fillies and Mares on the pace. Let's look at this field. And, well, Rob, we're both on Lions Princess. In fact, I think I might have taunted you too much on Friday night because you came out swinging tonight and you've got all the winners. So I decided to climb aboard your picks. Lions Princess, Anthony Hahn.
Well, you told me to bring my A game, Gary, after I guess a couple of subpar performances. So that's what I did, and it's worked out so far. Lions Princess. Listen, right now I'm shocked about one thing. That's the price at 9-2. I think that you look past her latest. She had post 7, the final of City of London. She blasts to the lead in 27-2. Ended up fading to get beat by a wide margin, but I mean, she was the easiest kind of winner the week before in a second leg of that series, and was in a good winner before that as well. So, I mean, even the Ontario Sire Spring Series at Mohawk Park, I mean, that is much above these. So, 9-2 on her. I'm all about Lions Princess in here and hoping that somehow that price holds.
Well, right now, 9-2 is a nice price. And number 1, Charmbro Stormy, also offering a price. We've had some nice exactors tonight. Charmbro Stormy inside post position after a bunch of spots on the outside and the trailer post.
Yeah, and she's one that has early foot off the wings of the gate, and she really kind of bravens up when she gets a favorable journey, and I think that might happen tonight. I mean, if she could just push out for position and sit a 2-hole, I think she can certainly finish second and hit the ticket. She certainly figures to be competitive with this group anyway. She was in numbers of 50,000 last 2 at Western Fair, actually her last 4 at Western Fair, and she has a win and a third in there. So I think if she gets away well off the gate, she'll be there at the wire and land somewhere in the ticket.
Well, the last 3 times she was in the top 2 at the quarter resulted in 2 wins and a third. Charmbro Stormy 9-2. Number 7, Novella Sealster. Well, 3 wins in just 4 starts in the year, but it's the post position problem.
It's the post position problem, and I think also it's a significant class change here, because that first win came in numbers of 1 or 5,000 life. She wins in numbers of 2, finished 5th. The Prospect Series, there can be races in the Prospect Series that would be comparable with this class and ones that are much easier. So I think there's a few things working against her. That's why she's my third choice and not rated higher. I think you got to like the fact she's 3 for 4, and last year she hit the board in 4 of 8. But 7-2, I think she should even probably be a higher price than that tonight from post 7.
Now, that last effort for Seal the Dark, this one's record this year, this mare, isn't that good, but that last effort was tough.
Yeah, exactly. And went, first over a long way before finishing third, only got beat half the length and gets to work from a good post again this time around. And is one that, 7-1, I think you can use in the bottom end of the exotics.
And number 5, Lions Prince, is holding right now at 5-1 on the board. We get some nice price. And right now, your second one, Charmbro Story, is also 4-1. Taking up their positions, Charmbro Stormy, and She's a Comedian on the inside. In the center, Seal the Dark Wasago and Lions Princess to the outside, Bet You Love Me, and Novella Sealster. It's a field of 7 for the 8th race. Right now, She's a Comedian made a bobble and is well back. And they're approaching the start. And the rough. Lions Princess will get out strongly with Bet You Love Me and Seal the Dark along to the inside, but Lions Princess establishes the early lead. Now Charbro Stormy is right close in the pocket. Seal the Dark is third. Bet You Love Me racing fourth, and then Novella Sealster and Wasega. And it is Lions Princess who's got the lead as they race on to the opening quarter. Charbro Stormy second. Seal the Dark is third. Then racing fourth is Bet You Love Me in front of Novella Sealster. And then Wasega 28-3. Opening quarter for Lions Princess 5-2 on the board. And Charbro Stormy and Paul McKenzie sitting in the pocket. Seal the Dark is racing third. Bet You Love Me fourth. Novella Sealster. And then Wasega as they race off the turn. The inquiry sign is up, retaining to the start. And number 2, She's a Comedian. They roll on towards us. Lions Princess, Seal the Dark, and Travis Henry now is only about a half length off the lead, and racing third is Charbro Stormy. Novella Sealster now spotted second over fourth. A halftime was 58-4 off that 28-3 opening quarter. Right now, fourth, Bet You Love Me. Fifth is Novella Sealster. Wasega's racing sixth on down the backstretch. Lions Princess off that 58-4 halftime has the lead as they race on to three quarters. The advantage now is down to just a neck, but Anthony Hahn is still sitting quiet in the bike, and on the outside, Seal the Dark now has come on to stick ahead in front, and on the inside trying to fight back is Lions Princess. It is Lions Princess and Seal the Dark, and then Charbro Stormy and Novella Sealster. Bet You Love Me and Wasega, and they turn from a little urging now for Lions Princess, and responds on the inside. Seal the Dark in the center, Lions Princess and Seal the Dark, and down to the inside, Charbro Stormy up the passing lane, but Seal the Dark is going to come on and win it. Charbro Stormy was second. Then third is between Lions Princess and Bet You Love Me. 157 flat. The inquiry sign is up, pertaining to the start at number 2. She's a Comedian. Interesting dash, this one.
Yeah, it really was, and I thought that Lions Princess looked pretty good. I agreed. I thought Anthony Hahn was sitting chilly on that one, and I think he was. But when the push came to shove, she just didn't have enough to hold off either Seal the Dark or Charbro Stormy, and really a big effort from Seal the Dark, and second start back off of a little break, and like we mentioned last time, big effort first over. Well, bigger effort this time, first over gets the job done.
Yeah, and you might have looked at those, just the records this year, and said, I can't take this one on top. Only 2 top 3 finishes. But boy, that last race might have been the hand tipper, because that race was even better, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it really was, and took a lot of support in that effort, right down to 9-5 in that effort, a much bigger price this time. And right now, I'm just lamenting the fact, Gary, that I went 3 deep in my pick 4 wager. If I go 4 deep, we would have had a nice bust out here with Seal the Dark.
And then finishing second, one Charbro Stormy was able to leave well, as you anticipated, and then was able to finish second up the inside for Paul McKenzie.
Yeah, she's got 4 victories this season, but I've always kind of remembered her as a horse that likes to hit the ticket and not really get her picture taken. And this is what she did tonight. She got away a good, favorable trip, and she gets through late to finish second. So something that's kind of typical of what she's done throughout her career.
It's a 3-1-5-6. Back in front of us, number 3, Seal the Dark, a chestnut 5-year-old shadow play mare, owned by Colonel Schneider Jr. Cassidy Schneider is the trainer. Travis Henry, the winning driver, first win on the air, third lifetime. Seal the Dark at 157 flat. Fans note number 2, She's a Comedian, will be refunded, determined to have been outside of the Fair Start poll. There's a look at the video 2, She's a Comedian, a refund. Eighth race payouts number 3. Seal the Dark, 1670, 650, and 380. 1. Charbro Stormy, 330, 230. 5. Lions Princess, 290, $2 exactor, 37.40. Dollar try, 51.25. Dollar superfecta, 160.70. Eighth race, so her finish from the top is a 2, refund 16345. That's 2, refund 16345. field for the ninth on parade. One Shadow in Red's Honey. It's Travis Henry for Richard Moreau and Max Stable. Number 2, Lions Believer, Anthony Hahn for Anthony Beaton and 3 Lions Racing. Number 3 is Better Deal, Ryan DeRoche for Laura Toscani and Gino Toscani. And 4 is Tierra Dancer, Jay Harris for Les Posen. 5 is In This Together, Tyler Moore for Nita Willette and Gilles Lachance. Number 6 is not there, but 7 is Jitter's Better, Alvin Hamilton for William Thompson. And number 8 is Clear as Glass. Note scores from post 9. J.R. Plant for Blake McIntosh and Hut Racing and Larry Denley. Note that number 6 is Dustin's Girl, Scott Coulter, Ted McDonnell, and Leonard Gamble. Well, let's get a look at this field for the 9th race, and there is 6 Dustin's Girl. The 9th race starts the late daily double. Note that 8 Clear as Glass scores from the trailer post. And we'll start with number 2, Lions Believer. Well, Rob, last race, Lions Princess didn't get the job done for us, but we're still a believer in this one, sent out by Anthony Beaton, and we both have this one on top, and the fans are believing as well, 3-5.
And she comes out of the same race as Lions Princess. And, post 2 to work from. She had post 5 and 6 in her last 2. She got away way back last time in the final of the City of London, made a wide move in the final, bit of the race, and ended up finishing 5th. I thought it was a decent effort. Home in 28-1, was second in both her preliminary legs of that series, and was a winner at Flamborough Downs on May 7th. And I just think this looks like a group that she can get the better of. Not only is a 15,000 life, and really looks good on the track as well. 3-5, obviously nothing sexy about that, but I think she looks like she's primed to find the winner's circle here.
Well, if you want to go away from the 3-5, then 1 Shadow in Red's Honey. Now, I might have faulted this one too much with the break last time out, but it is Richard Moreau, inside post position, 3rd start of the year.
Yeah, I think that Shadows and Red Honey is one you've got to consider in here. Last 2, post 7, post 5, made a break last time, took support in that effort at Georgian Downs, and now at the pole position this time around at the River. I think that we should see her, put into play off the switch, and if she gets away in a favorable spot, I think she can get a big piece of it. I think 6-1's a bit of an overlay on this one right now, with, of course, that price inflated with all the support coming in on the 2 Lions Believer.
You know who I really wanted to use on top was 7 Jitters Better, and she still might come out on top. She's got 3 wins and 6 starts in the year.
Yeah, she's been racing really well. She was a good winner last time from the trailing post at Flamborough Downs, and non-winners a 2, and of course she doubled up in non-winners a 1 on that half-mile surface back in April. I saw her scoring down in a big way for Alvin Hamilton, and it's one of those ones where if she didn't have post 7, I think you could certainly like her a heck of a lot more in here, but it's not sure how it all works out unless she can somehow blast off the gate and get spotted really well in the early going. So I think Jitters Better has a big chance. I've got her pegged as my 2nd choice in the race, and I think that she can be right there with the right kind of trip, but obviously the post position is a tough assignment.
And then the real value is number 8 Clear as Glass, and for a bit of an obvious reason, trailer post, but sometimes people don't notice that it is J.R. Plant, Blake McIntosh. One's coming in off of a maiden win. 18-1.
Yeah, it happens,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry, Gary. Yeah, it happens frequently, right? We see these horses that, because of an early scratch, they get to work from post 9, but they're number 8, and they get overlooked, much like the also eligible. So really, this is a horse that I just use on principle. It doesn't really matter what the form looks like. And of course, she won last time, maiden breaking score, and she's been in the top 2, 3 to 5 times this season. But again, I'll use her just for that expected value of having a bomb price on a horse that probably shouldn't be that long of a number, because people that are just kind of betting it blind aren't seeing that she's starting from the trailing post instead of post 8.
Well, number 2 Lions Believer is 6-5 on the board. 20-1 on Clear as Glass would be my value play right now. Should be in the hunt. They're taking up their positions. It's Shadow and Red's Honey, Lions Believer on the inside and the center. Better Deal, Tierra Dancer, and in this together. To the outside, Dustin's Girl and Jitters Better. And the second tier, Clear as Glass. It's a field of 8 for the ninth dash. And the field for the ninth race into the stretch drive. They're at the start. They're off, and Shadow and Red's Honey has made a break in stride. Better Deal has also gone off stride. Tierra Dancer is going to waltz out and get the lead, but on the outside, still charging is Jitter is Better. Jitter is Better, and Alvin Hamilton wants to press on and try to make it to the lead, and Jitter is Better has the front now. Tierra Dancer is second. Lions Believer is third away. Then it is in this together, racing position fourth as they race their way on to that opening quarter. Then fifth is Clear as Glass, and sixth is Dustin's Girl. Jitter is Better at 4-1. Alvin Hamilton has the lead. Tierra Dancer is racing second, about 2.25 from the front. Lions Believer is currently lying third in front of In This Together, and then Clear as Glass, and then Dustin's Girl. They race their way off the turn, and the field comes on towards us. And it is Jitter is Better with a lead of about 2.5 or 3 of a 28-2 opening quarter. Halftime was recorded in 58-4, 30-2 second panel breather. And racing in the pocket is Tierra Dancer, but now it is Lions Believer on the outside coming first over, and is moved up and is taken over second and is closing ground on Jitter is Better. Tierra Dancer is third. Then racing on the outside In This Together is taken over fourth, and fifth is Clear as Glass, and then it is Dustin's Girl, and they race on to three quarters. Jitter is Better is still better than the field. Lions Believer is dropped down to the inside to save some ground on the turn. In This Together is racing on the outside third, and then it is Tierra Dancer and Dustin's Girl, and Clear as Glass three quarters, 1:28-1. Jitter is Better. Lions Believer to the outside chasing, but Jitter is Better is still better. On down the stretch drive they come. Jitter is Better. Lions Believer. Jitter is Better being chased hard by Lions Believer, but Jitter is Better is better. Lions Believer second. Then it was In This Together and Dustin's Girl. Jitter is Better lived up to the name. The inquiry sign is up in this one pertaining to the breaks of 1 Shadow and Red's Honey and 3 Better Deal, but especially that break on 1 Shadow and Red's Honey at the start. We'll see if a Clear as Glass got a fair start. But what about the win? Jitter is Better and Alvin Hamilton, Rob.
Yeah, Jitter's Better and Alvin Hamilton. I mean, he was intent on getting to the front there, and ended up putting the favorite Lions Believer in the 3-hole, who had to come first over for a bit before dropping in behind that one, and bravened up, but then could not get by this one in the stretch. So nice effort from Jitter's Better to hang on.
Yeah, Jitter's Better raced tough from the trailer post last race, but just a spot on the gate. This one can really fly off the gate.
Yeah, and we saw the score down too. I mean, when we were showing the horse before the race, I saw Alvin Hamilton, scoring down Jitter's Better pretty hard on the turn and down the backside. So certainly he had his mind up where he wanted to go this time. And last start was off 3 weeks. This time missed a week in between starts, but it didn't matter. Jitter's Better, now 4 for 7 on the season with now 6 on the board finishes.
Yeah, and definitely an aggressive drive, but nonetheless, I think we're going to see more from Jitter's Better as we go along in this season. And really, Lions Believer, that was a solid effort. Yeah, I got beat at even money, but a much tougher road. But Lions Believer is one that I think you can believe will continue on very well for trainer Anthony Beaton.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not too concerned about that one getting beaten there. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, she disappoints at even money, but she was clear cut second best by a wide margin. Didn't lose by much. Had to be first over for a bit. Bravened up and behind, and just got beat by one that was a bit better tonight. So I think she'll rebound, maybe with a winning effort next time.
And looked really racy digging in the stretch. It was just a better one to beat her, but actually Lions Believer really did dig in nicely.
Yeah, she did for sure.
On the board, we have a 7-2-5-6, and wheeling back in front of us, number 7, Jitters Better, a 4-year-old better than Cheddar Bay mare, owned by William Thompson, trained and driven to victory by Alvin Hamilton. It's the 4th win in 7 starts this year and lifetime. Jitters Better, 158 flat. Fans note the judge's ruling that all horses received a fair start, and also note that number 3, Better Deal, had broken equipment, but it happened after the start. Judge's ruling that all horses received a fair start. Ninth race payouts, number 7, Jitters Better, 1020. 463.10. 2 Lions Believer to 92.40. 5 in this together, 690. $2 exactor, $18.30 try, $52.70 super, $422. Ninth race, so her finish from the top is an 827.53416. That's 827.53416. field for the 10th on parade. One scratch. Two is Jam Outspoken Xavier Renault for Julie Walker and Joe Muskokaman. Three is Sweetest Hustle, down the board for Lori LePage and Rebecca Williamson. And four is Miss Sophia Rose, Paul McKenzie for Harry Polton and William Brown and Brenda Darrable. Five is Dashed All, Dave Duncan for Brenda Duncan. And six is Saga, Jay Harris for Claire Bradshaw, Brian Jameson. Seven, Beach Designer, Scott Ray for Glenn Lalonde. Eight is Lola's Sunshine, Lauren House for Scott McNiven and Thomas Broadhurst and Donald Douglas and Bradley McNiven. And nine is All Electric. It is Scott Calder for James Dean and Barbara Lennox and Brenda Lothman and Laura McKinney. It's a field of eight. Note that JB Renault drives the two. Scott Ray drives seven. Beach Designer. Let's look at this field. We're going to start with nine, All Electric. Well, the trailer post, but still your top pick and mine, Rob.
Yeah, I think All Electric figures in here. First start of the season, Camp Mohawk Park, and now winners of one. It's a long way out of it in the early stages. Made up good ground throughout the mile and came a back half in 57 seconds flat. So I think All Electric certainly looks like the one to beat in here. And I guess with the scratch of the one Body Express, now she gets to follow out the two Jam Spoken, who I think is the main danger. So I think it's really a race that her race to win. It's just going to matter what the trip's like in the second tier.
And it looks like there might be some gate speed. Jam Outspoken, two races go left, and Sweetest Hustle set the pace in her last start, but All Electric 6-5. Number two, Jam Outspoken, and Jam Outspoken JB Renault with the drive. Not a good start at Mohawk last time out, although finished strongly, but raced a little bit better at London the start before it.
Yeah, I think Jam Outspoken certainly figures in here. You can't really rule her out. I mean, this is a tremendous, drop down for her in competition. Again, Mohawk Park last time it was 50-1, but now you get to Grand River Raceway, and really many of those recent starts were at Mohawk Park. The City of London races weren't certainly bad at all. They were a decent effort last time to finish fourth on May the 20th, and now the rail to work from. I think that you have to like her underneath in here. 4-1 on the board, obviously presenting more value than the 9 All Electric, but I think that that one certainly has better credentials.
Number three, Sweetest Hustle, hasn't tasted victory yet, but has tasted the top three often.
Yeah, Sweetest Hustle is interesting because she kind of came out with a real big effort, and I think her first start of her life, and she's been one that's kind of been in the mix in many of her starts. She's, like you said, hit the board 6 of 10 so far in her career. Last time probably didn't have much of an excuse though. Really, she went to the front. You got a 32nd second quarter, and ended up getting beat by half a length on the end of it. So might be one that just is a little bit camera shy. I certainly couldn't put her ahead of the favorite in here, All Electric, but I think that Sweetest Hustle should have every chance to land underneath and hit the ticket somewhere.
Number seven, Beach Designer, I think is one that could be interesting because it's just the second career start and did come on really nicely in that start, the first start, circling up three wide. It was a pretty solid effort. Beach Designer could improve.
Yeah, Beach Designer is one that if you're looking for one to top the shorter price horses, why not go to one that is a 4-year-old mare just making the second start of her career? Not a bad effort last time at all, and she probably learned a lot from that. So post 7 certainly not the ideal starting spot for Beach Designer, but one that you can get behind at 12-1 if you'd rather take a price in the finale.
And number 8, Lola's Sunshine, has the form but not the post.
Yeah, Lola Sunshine was one that I would have had somewhere higher in the rankings if not for that post 8. I mean, she's hit the board in 3 so far this season, and has raced pretty well to do so. But 8-hole at Grand River, Gary, we know that's real tough sledding. So for me, just a smaller piece on the high 5.
Well, number 9, All Electric is who we're backing here. 6-5 on the board. as the favorite from the trailer post. The field for the 10th, JM Outspoken, Sweetest Hustle on the inside of the center, Miss Sophia Rose and Dash Doll. And on the outside, Saga Beach Designer and Lola Sunshine. Second tier, All Electric.
Yeehaw!
It's a field of 8. Race number 10. Here they come. And the field for the 10th race is at the start in the rough, and Jam Outspoken and Sweetest Hustle. Beach Designer from the outside, Dash Doll. And then it is Miss Sophia Rose as they work on around the turn. Now Beach Designer moves up and takes over fourth as Miss Sophia Rose is racing fifth. Lola Sunshine, All Electric has just one beaten, and that is Saga. They race on to the opening quarter. Jam Outspoken and JB Renault 8-5. Right now, B the leader by 2. Sweetest Hustle is second. Dash Doll is racing third, and Beach Designer fourth in front of Miss Sophia Rose, and then it is Lola Sunshine. All Electric now charges up on the outside, gains one spot, trailing is Saga. They work past that opening quarter. The quarter was recorded in 28-4. Jam Outspoken has the lead as they work their way off the turn heading towards us. Sweetest Hustle and Tyler Borth is second on the back of JB Renault, and Jam Outspoken. Dash Doll inside third for Dave Duncan. Beach Designer now is going to move on the outside for Scott Ray, and All Electric now has moved up to a second over fifth, then Miss Sophia Rose and Saga, and back to Lola Sunshine. 59-2 the halftime, 30-3 second panel breather, and it is Jam Outspoken, Sweetest Hustle, now up to third, Beach Designer, and then Dash Doll is racing fourth, and All Electric is racing on the outside and is about 5 lengths off the lead, and now has come on, taken over fourth, but still has work to do. They hustle their way onto three quarters, and Jam Outspoken, it's a little urging there, and leads it by a length and three quarters over Sweetest Hustle. Beach Designer, All Electric fourth, and is still about 4.5 from the front. Then it is Dash Doll and Saga, and then it is back to Miss Sophia Rose and Lola Sunshine. Jam Outspoken, Sweetest Hustle. Jam Outspoken continues on. Jam Outspoken has got this one, finishing second with Sweetest Hustle. And then it was Beach Designer, Dash Doll on the inside, and All Electric on the outside. Jam Outspoken dropped down to 8-5 as the second choice. And, well, if you were going to take one to beat All Electric, that was your second one and was the right one.
Yeah, Jam Outspoken, use that rail advantage with the scratch of the One Body Express to go to the lead and go all the way. And really, right at the start, Gary, All Electric ended up in a different time zone. We got to follow Jam Outspoken off the gate and was nowhere near her and had a lot of work to do, but really didn't show too much, really in the late stages when getting the second over trip. And it might also be, her first start of the season on a half-mile surface. She didn't really look too comfortable out there either. So All Electric might be one to watch for next time if she can, rebound with a better effort. But yeah, Jam Outspoken, much the best in the finale.
Yeah, Scotty was pretty careful with her in the early going, so one to keep an eye out. Number 3, Sweetest Hustle, was the other one that used in behind in the top 3 spots, so finishes second. And Sweetest Hustle did give a game effort. Couldn't track down Jam Outspoken, but it was a solid outing.
Yeah, Sweetest Hustle, kind of done what she's done in a lot of her starts, right? She doesn't win, but she gets a good chunk of it. She's now hit the board in 7 of 11 lifetime, but just hasn't broken through with a victory yet. So, much of the same from her. And, I think you've got some prices on the bottom end of this that might make this high five pay very well.
Well, you had the correct top 4, but in a different order is Jam Outspoken comes out on top 2, 3, 7, 9. And back in front of us, Jam Outspoken is a 3-year-old Art Speak the Bay filly, owned by Joe Muskokeman of Muncie, Ontario. Julie Walker is the trainer. J.B. Renault is the winning driver. It's the first win for Jam Outspoken, 158-3. The 10th race payouts number 2, JM Outspoken. 530, 390, 333. Sweetest Hustle, 640 and 410. 7 Beach Designer, 520. The dollar win for 318. 15 dollar high 5. 4,806.80. $2 exactor, $19.70 try, $69.40. And the double of 7 and 2, $26.10. The 10th race, order of finish from the top is a scratch 1, 2, 7, 5, 6, 3, 8, 4. That's scratch 1, 2, 7, 5, 6, 3, 8, 4. Well, fans, that concludes the live harness racing program for this Monday evening. Action resumes this coming Wednesday. Our first race will go to post at 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.